Good morning, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon and Rising Gemini. All the videos are time stamped now, so if you don't want to hear me waffling on and seeing me shuffling cards, then skip ahead. I shan't be the slightest bit offended. Usual rules apply, take what resonates, leave the rest. It's worth checking out the videos for your moon and rising signs to get a more complete picture of what's going on with you. If you don't know what your moon and rising signs are, I've put a link in the description box underneath the video to Cafe Astrology. If you put in the time, date and location of your birth, it will give you your full natal chart, as well as explaining why what being where is important for you. It can give you a fuller understanding of what goes into making you who you are, and that's particularly relevant if you find that you don't resonate that much with your sun sign. So it's just worth knowing. If you're a returning subscriber, I love you to the moon and back. Thank you so much. You're making a world of difference to me, and I really appreciate it. If you're not currently a subscriber, please do consider doing so, because I'll love you forever. If you're looking to book a personal reading, the link to my email is in the description box below. I'm currently building a website and it's coming together quite quickly, so hopefully I should have a booking platform on there certainly before next month, and that'll make things a lot easier. If you are someone who's reached out for a personal booking, thank you. I appreciate that very much. And if you've reached out for a personal booking and I haven't quite got back to you yet, I am on my way. I'm working my way through everything. I've just been slightly deluged, which is wonderful. I'm absolutely not complaining about that. And thank you for all your messages and the comments and things. I've been absolutely blown away by the messages and the comments that you've all left. It's completely blown my mind. But it's been wonderful, and I love to talk to you. Or certainly at this point, I'm responding to all messages and comments and stuff. And it's really touched me that you're taking the time to get in touch, especially in today's busy modern society. It means a lot. So thank you. I'm trying to cut the length of the videos down a little bit because, frankly, last months were a little bit epic. Heavens. Hence, while I'm shuffling and talking at the same time. That's very interesting. I'll just pop that there. And I'm sorry I've made you wait so much longer than the other ones. It was my birthday yesterday and I was planning to come and sit in here for a couple of hours and finish off the last few videos that I had to do. But then my 6-year-old daughter yeeted a cardboard box into the TV and broke it. She left the most beautiful pattern on the screen, but obviously then couldn't really watch anything. So ended up having to go and hunt a replacement for that. But it's fine, it's just stuff. Ooh. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. I don't think that there is. Good Lord, child. What is going on with you this month? I don't want to speak too soon, but it does seem overwhelmingly positive. And there are a lot of people in this reading. Bear with me, almost done. She says. I'm going to show you that one because it flipped round. It's the moon. It's about things that are hidden and illusions and secrets, potentially. but it didn't jump out, so I'm not going to take it. The fact that it wanted to make itself known was probably worth letting you know that it was there. Wow. I'm loving this. Right. Okay, so before I show you the cards that have come out on the table, I've started introducing an oracle card to the reading as well. My intention had been to use it as sort of an extra message at the end of the reading, but actually I found that it does seem to be forming part of the underlying theme or the message of the reading, so it's working better to have it at the beginning instead. And the card that you've pulled here is Trust Your Own Understanding, and I find it really interesting that I've just noticed that there's a moon in the corner of that card. I hadn't noticed that before, and the moon just flipped over in the shuffling. So in this instance, rather than talking about things that are necessarily hidden from you, I think that this is talking about some deep emotional stuff that's going on in your subconscious. So I'll read you what the book says about this card, because I haven't memorised all of the meanings of the oracle cards yet, but that's the thing that jumped out at me straight away. It's also numbered 32, which reduces down to a 5, which is about change. It's often uncomfortable change. Change that we kind of try and resist, and that makes it harder. And sometimes conflict. So just bear that in mind. The book says, the information that you are receiving is reliable and accurate. Look deeply into the situation before making any commitments. You have the foresight and ability to discern that there is more here than meets the eye. Everything will be revealed in appropriate time. Don't feel the need to prove yourself. Be patient and allow things to unfold as they will. Trust in your own observations and knowledge. They hold your truth. Nice. Do you know, there are things disappearing. I swear I must have brownies or something in this house. Plus I came into, this is a little turret. It actually sits out from the side of my house, and usually I keep all my cards here, the big line of them across there, and we've had some spectacularly heavy rain in the last few days, and I came in today to find that I have ruined 2 decks of cards because they've sat and they've soaked up all the water in. Now they're absolutely sodden. That one's not so bad, I can replace that one, but this one, which to be fair isn't quite as badly affected, is an indie deck that I spent a fortune on importing from America, and it's absolutely beautiful, so I'm going to have to very carefully dry that out. Anyway, you're not interested in that, you want your reading. But I've lost my selenite and I don't know where it is, so I'm going to have to find something else to fiddle with while I'm talking to you. So, the cards that have come out on the table are very interesting for a start. We have the Magician as the first card, numbered 1 of the Major Arcana. We've got the King of Cups, and we have the King of Pentacles. Neither of those are kings from your suit. Which is quite interesting. The shadow card at the bottom of the deck is the Horned One, which in a standard deck is the Devil, but it's come out reversed, which is always the best way to see that particular card. So I'm very happy about that. And then I'll go through the clarifiers as I start talking about the cards. I think that's probably the most effective way to do this. So, Gemini. As I said, the first card that you've got is the Magician, and the Magician is an extremely powerful card. It depicts a man with all 4 representations of the elements on his table here. So we've got swords, we've got pentacles, we've got cups, and we've got wands. And this man controls all of them, right? He knows how to bring into reality anything that he wants to manifest, whether it's pentacles, you know, more abundance, more wealth, more stability sometimes as well, whether it's swords, so it's truth and good communication and things like that. Wands, passionate, new, inspired things. Or cups, new love, established love. Anything that he puts his mind to, he can achieve. And this is your first card. Augurs very well. It means to me that you're in a position of power this month. What I find very interesting is that the two cards that we have to clarify this one are the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is your queen, which is ace. But they're sat back to back, which I find really, really interesting. Look at that, literally facing off in different directions. And they've come up underneath the Magician. The cloaks are very similar, but slightly different. They're coloured similarly, and they both have white patterns on them, but the patterns are slightly different. Usually when I see more than two court cards on the table, I stop thinking of them as people and I start thinking of them as perhaps energies that you're working with, or even energies that you are dealing with at this point. Because we've got a pair. We've got the King of Cups and we've got the Queen of Cups. And we've got the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. It's a lot of court cards. Anywho, although these two queens rule at opposite ends of the spectrum, Queen of Cups is all about love and emotion, devotion, nurturing. And then we've got the Queen of Swords, who's right at the other side, and she is all about communication and harsh truth, I would say. She takes no bullshit, this woman, none whatsoever, and she won't have the slightest hesitation in cutting you straight out if you try and give it to her. Being as this is a Gemini reading, and here you are depicted as, this is the thing I've chosen to fiddle with while I'm talking to you, but it's got Gemini on it, you know, two of you. I wonder if this month these cups are coming out to clarify this. You are getting these two sides of your personality in balance, because Geminis have a bit of a harsh rap for being blunt and seeing things very much in black and white, and sometimes over communicating harshly what they think about things. But these two queens have come out and they're back to back, and they're sitting underneath the Magician. Magician has dominion over all of the elements. I feel like he's bringing in a balance here between your caring, compassionate, loving, emotionally mature side, and also your capacity to sniff out bullshit from like 50 feet away and cut those things out of your life that you don't need. It feels like a focusing, actually, because you felt quite scattered this year in one way or another. Pulled a little thin, I would say, actually. Pulled off in so many different directions that actually your energy has been really like wafted in. But you're bringing balance this month, and the balance is coming from being able to balance these two energies of these queens. And you're doing it rather masterfully, because anything that the Magician is involved in has to be done masterfully. I mean, it's literally his MO, it's what he does. Both of these queens have children on the thrones, and I think they're the only two queens that do. I'm pretty sure the other two do not. The Queen of Wands has animals on her throne. as does the Queen of Pentacles, actually. So this may involve a situation with children. Perhaps you're starting to find some balance in your work-life situation, or maybe there's been a situation that you've been dealing with children that has been the cause of you being pulled rather thin, and you're marshalling up your energy now and you're getting on top of it. There are 3 children in this card, and there's another one in this card. There's a definite implied balance here, and I like it, especially since it comes out beneath the Magician, who's the card of Aries. So it may be that there's an Aries that's important that's dealing with this with you, but it's not necessary. And the next card that we've got is the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is obviously the counterpart to the Queen of Cups, and here he is. But I'm not sure that this is you. I'm not sure that this indicates you, even though it's the royal pair that we've got on the table. I think this might be someone that's in your energy at the moment. It's a king, so they're a mature personality. They don't have to be old, they just need to be mature. You know, they've got their head screwed on, right? They're in touch with their emotions, but they're not ruled by their emotions. You know, his garb, he's got a white cloak on and everything, but his tunic is green, which is the colour of love, and he's sat very calmly. He's sat very relaxed in the midst of quite a torrent of water around him. But he doesn't look in the slightest bit worried. You know, other people might be a bit concerned that they might get washed off their throne, and not this chap, no, because his throne is solid and it's stone and it's well built, and he can sit on it no matter what's going on around him. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to get washed off by the weight of his own emotions. So this is someone in your environment. It doesn't have to be a man, it could be a woman. It's just the masculine presentation of the energies. So it's quite active as well, and it's clarified by the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles is the card of working together with other people, and sometimes you can interpret that in a slightly shady way, or you can interpret it in a positive way, and I think that this is a positive, one of those positive versions thereof. It feels like your ability to balance yourself this month and harness this energy of this chap, and he can literally do whatever he wants, like he's in charge of everything. You know, in his reversed presentation, he's actually quite a sinister chap because he's a manipulator, and he can get anybody to do what he wants, but he's come out upright, and he's been clarified by 2 queens. This is a chap that you're working with. What I'm not sure about is whether your newfound balance is what's allowing you to go into partnership with this person. And it's also not clear as to whether this is a romantic reading or whether this is a business reading or whatever. This is a water sign. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It doesn't have to be the sun sign, it could be the moon or rising sign, but it features prominently in the chart somewhere. And you're working together with this person. You may have been working with them for a while, it's hard to say, or you might just be coming together. But then the other card that we have to clarify is Judgment. Judgment's the card of resurrection. So it often means second chances. card is literally depicting people rising from the dead. So it's a situation that you thought was over and done with. It was dead, it was buried. And now here Judgment comes along. I'll blow his fancy horn and pull it up again. You know, Mercury retrograde has ended, but we're still in the shadow period, so it's not uncommon for unresolved things to pop back up into our life. But this is a second chance to work with someone who seems a decent sort here. King of Cups, very emotionally mature, to work together to build something, and it's to build something solid, because it's Pentacles. I mean, look at that. You know, that Mason there is working together with these two people here to create something really, really solid that will last for a long time. You are being given the opportunity to do that this month. I'm going to pull another card for that, because I'm interested to see what it is. But I feel like because you've brought your compassionate side and your emotionally mature side into balance with your sword side, with your intellect, with your logic, with your ability to communicate, this is making you very powerful this month, but it's also putting you in exactly the perfect place to work with someone who is also compassionate, who is also emotionally mature. You know, those two there are a pair. This is an opportunity. So, look, why is that? That's the one leg. Whatever it is, whatever this opportunity is that you're being gifted, and I vaguely recall actually July spoke of an opportunity arising for you. So if this isn't that same opportunity, then it's another one. But it's the Sun card. It's the most positive card in the deck. Whatever this is, this opportunity that's been resurrected, that you thought was over and done with, this partnership, this project, this relationship, potentially even. But there are no cups aside from the Magician's cups on the deck, so I don't think that this is about relationships. I think this is about work, or potentially just general life stuff. But whatever it is, this card augurs very, very well. It says that you should jump at the chance to do this. And the reason why it's going to go so well for you is because you have balanced yourself out and given yourself the opportunity to manifest whatever the fuck you want this month. But there's an element of fate about this, because just as you have done that, so this chap comes along and you're in exactly the position to be able to partner him perfectly. You see, I'm just using the genders as he and she and whatnot, because it stops me getting confused with the cards. But you take it as it resonates, you know, whichever way around this is working for you, and whatever circumstance this refers to in your life. And I feel like you should be starting to get an idea of what it is now. You fill in the blanks, I don't know. The final card you've got is the King of Pentacles. He's the Earth King, so he can indicate Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn. I usually see him as a Capricorn male, to be honest, and I can't say that I have a lot of love for this king generally. For me, he walks a very narrow line between, you know, his positive aspects and then just descending into materialism and status sort of driven bollocks. But in this deck, he actually looks quite kind. He's not dripping with ostentatious wealth like he is in some other decks. And he's not looking grave, which he always does in other decks as well. He's sat not in an opulent state surrounded by conspicuous wealth. but he's smiling and he's under an apple tree. And he's dressed warm. He looks rather happy. Look at that. I really like that depiction of the King of Pentacles. So is this a man or is this an energy? Is this a person? So if it is a person, it would be a Capricorn, a Virgo, or a Taurus. He could be a situation. He could be an energy. Being as he doesn't have a counterpart on the table, I'm going to go with an energy. And perhaps this is you having been in pursuit of abundance and material increase for a little while now. Because you're clarified by the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is about something being too hard, something being too much work. Maybe this is a job. Maybe this is your boss. Maybe this is something along those lines. You fill in the gaps. But whatever this King of Pentacles represents to you, it's too hard now. Whatever benefits you were reaping, associating with this person, this energy, this job, whatever, it's got to the point now where it's too much for you. For whatever reason, it's become a burden and you need to put it down. You need to put the relationship down. You need to leave the job. You need to start looking after yourself a little bit more. The pros are now heavily outweighed by the cons. And truly, at some point, you must have thought this was a good idea, otherwise you wouldn't have picked up all these ones in the first place. But it's now, they're heavy, and the road is too long, and it's too hard, and you're not reaping enough benefit to continue anymore. So you need to put this down, whatever it is. And then, lo and behold, the second card that we have to clarify the King of Pentacles is the Magician, which was the first card. So the first card and the last card are the Magician. Like, whenever you have two cards repeating, there's always a message in there that's important. There is something important about this. So this could be an Aries who is important to you. I should throw that in there, but not necessarily, because I think more it's about you. I think it's about you realising your worth, because often the Ten of Wands talks about such a level of lack of knowledge of your own worth that you're prepared to burden yourself dramatically for the benefit of someone else. This card could talk about you recognising now that that is what you're doing and that it's time that it stopped. But there's a kind of circular nature to this that I find really, really intriguing. First and last card there. Whatever opportunity arises for you this month, I think that you're going to understand. Remember the Oracle card at the beginning. I think that you know deep down that resurrecting this situation here is now going to be a much better fit than where you currently find yourself. And I feel like this is your current situation and this is your upcoming situation. It's a much better fit than this, because this is weighing you down. This is stopping you from progressing on. And the fact that your first and last cards were the Magician, so I think you're really getting an understanding of that. And you're understanding your own power, because you seem to have been in some doubt. I mean, you wouldn't have put yourself in this position if you truly acknowledged that you were the magician and you had the ability to control all of these things. And it's interesting, the shadow card at the bottom of the clarifying deck was the Five of Pentacles, and I think that perhaps, whether this is a person or a job or a situation or a friendship or, you know, fill in the blanks, you put yourself here because of a fear of this. And the shadow card on the bottom of the other deck was the Devil, but the Devil's come out reversed. And the devil is about being tethered to things that that are bad for you. You know, it's about toxicity, and it's about base pleasures. It's about short-term fulfillment. I've completely forgotten the phrase that I mean to use there, but it's about short-term as opposed to long-term. So it's about having that extra drink. It's about, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. It's about doing things to excess, but quite often it's about self-sabotage, and it's about not understanding your own value and not understanding your own power and allowing yourself to be shackled to something else. And it's, the important bit of that is allowing yourself, right? You have the power to get yourself out of this situation, and the Devil reversed tells me that you are understanding that now. The Devil reversed, two magicians, and the Sun card, which has flown up here. You know, whatever poverty that you've been afraid of, whether that's actual physical poverty, you know, money, financial, or whether it's emotional poverty, feeling like you need to stay with someone because otherwise you'll have nothing, you know, a little bit, you know, 5 pentacles better than no pentacles. It's not true. You know, or whether it's some sort of spiritual poverty, there's lack here, and you are afraid of lack, and that is why whatever the King of Pentacles is what you shackled yourself to. It's time to get out, and you know it is. Trust your understanding, trust your intuition. Yeah, that's what the Oracle card said. I get another card for advice, though I think the Oracle card probably pretty much covers it. But keep a lookout for this opportunity that's going to arise with someone from the past, because it's coming along. It's coming along at the perfect point for you. Like, all of these realizations that you're having about yourself and your situation and stuff, they're all happening at exactly the right point. The two advice cards that you've got are the Hanged Man and the Knight of Pentacles. So you could read that two ways. The first being that whatever feels like it's going to be a bit of a sacrifice that you're going to have to do will actually turn out not to be that much of a sacrifice in the first place. Eventually, once you actually do it, you'll realise that it felt like a sacrifice, but it wasn't. Or it asks you to change your perspective ever so slightly. And this could well refer to your King of Pentacles situation. Change your perspective, understand that this is too much, you have taken on too much, and you are not reaping any benefit from it. The King of Pentacles that's how he stays in the position that he's in. He has other people working for him. He does not do the work. And granted, there's a level of him having worked to get where he is, but you're keeping him there. And while you're keeping him there, you're keeping yourself here. So whichever way you feel like that applies to you, that's the piece of advice for you. And the Knight of Pentacles. Well, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck, but he's the one that gets things done. And he's definitely the knight that I would want to see with this card here, with this working together to get something done. Whatever you're going to be working at, it's not going to take off straight away. but it's going to have solid foundations. It's going to be made of stone, and you're going to need to plod away at it slowly and carefully for a little while. But it's right for you. It's the path that you're supposed to take. I feel like I've done a lot of waffling here, but I feel like it will also actually resonate with someone, and that's the important thing. Doesn't matter what I think. If this has resonated with you at all, please do let me know, as I genuinely love reading your comments and your messages and everything. And I hope this helps. It's literally the reason that I've thrown myself out of my comfort zone and put myself on YouTube in the first place. If you don't want to talk about it, that's absolutely fine. I understand. Just like the videos that I know that it's hit someone somewhere, resonated. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, because it helps me enormously, and I'll be forever grateful. But yeah, all in all, August looks like a really good month for you. Not just in August, but going forwards. You're making some really important realizations about yourself and your self-worth, and you're pulling yourself away from things that aren't any good for you. And I love to see that. That's brilliant. So, yeah, keep me informed, and I'll see you next month.